Here we are.
Hello.
I think I'm not centered in my little thingy here. There we go. How's that?
One must be centered.
And with that, I'm Gwen Peterson, founder of Spiritual Communities Network, and this is
Denise Flood from Change Your Frequency, Change Your Life. Woo.
a little miscentered over there. Oh, I got thrown a little out of my center today. Taking Misty to work. Was driving along. I'm like, okay, I got to get over the lane I got to get in, pretty much bumper to bumper. And I'm like, put on my blinker and I kind of position myself so that the guy who's in my blind spot I get myself positioned so you can see my blinker that I want to get over. Will you let me over? No, he zooms up next to me. He's not going to let me over. I'm like, so I slow up because the guy behind him has made a gap. And I'm like, so I slow up and I get behind him. And this is timing out well because now I'm at the little, turn thingy, the little turn lane, so I can turn into the shopping center where I need to drop Misty. So I pull over and I go, start to accelerate because that traffic's stopping. So I accelerate to go get into the turnaround thing. And he turns into me and pushes me off the flipping road. And so I hit my brakes. I go like off the road. Thank goodness there was no curb there. So I was able, Naples, and it's no curbs. I love it. So I'm on the grass and he's going and I pull back behind thinking, obviously he's decided he's going where I'm going, right? And he stops. And he sits there and he's not going to let me go anywhere. So I just start laying on the horn. So let me tell you, being centered went right out the window because I was like, dude, you get out of that car. I'm going to smack you.
Oh, man. The 6 o'clock news would have loved you.
I was ready to say, Misty, dial 911. This booger is going to jail.
Oh.
I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what? I'm like, WTF, welcome to Florida.
There is that new Florida energy of like not being courteous. I've noticed that here because when I moved from Miami, I was like, oh my God, everybody's here so nice, it's scary. And then, I don't know, COVID, I honestly think COVID frayed people's nerves.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing. And kindness does matter. So let's bless that guy. Bless you for being a jerk today so that we could bring you up here and send you some light and love.
Yeah. Be eternally grateful I didn't have a big truck.
Oh, you know what? You probably would not have pulled that with you had you had a big truck. When I was driving trucks here, like we had gotten a truck when we moved out here to the estates. And for that very reason, because I had my little car that like I'm watching people's tires go by out here, when I look out the side. And so we did get a truck, especially because we were doing work on the house and we needed to,
Shelby's always, what? He's always driven those big Ram trucks. He's always, and when you're in one of those, people don't mess with you.
Right. When I lived in Miami, I had a small, was it a Toyota truck? A Mazda truck, maybe. But somebody before we bought it had put like homemade steel bumpers on it. Nobody ever came near me either then.
Nothing screams, I will push you out of the way like a homemade bumper.
Right? It was like, I'm coming through.
I am coming through you.
Right.
That
Now
gives coming through you a whole new meaning.
Now we have a older model Mercedes, but it's big and it's old and it does have pickup if you need it, but it's okay that you can sit there and just like bloop 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 because it's diesel, go down the road and you know people don't get mad at you because they're like, oh, look at that cute old lady in the car.
Do you sit real low in it too so you can go like this?
Michael finally he had to like fix the seat adjuster so you know I can see up over the
Right. You know, though, about the COVID thing, you know, it's funny because I had mentioned something about a situation that had come up with from a business standpoint. And I was sharing with her, and she's like, you know, she's like, I think COVID really made people not care about other human beings. she's like, she just says that she's just noticed a change too in people, you know,
right.
that they're just not as caring as they once were. And I'm like, well, that's really sad.
It is, and you know what
Because
I
I was
think? Yeah, I think if they either went one way or the other, like their true personalities have come out because they had to sit with themselves for a year, and not everybody is able to sit with themselves and really go.
and let me go there with it. If you can't sit with yourself and you don't like what you see,
Don't take it out on us.
trust me, we see it too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there. Sorry. Going to throw that out there.
Let's reel it back in because that's a good conversation, actually, and one I do think needs attention. Um, I hope that we return to a gentler, more caring people. I'm there. You're there,
Yeah.
except in duress.
From time to time. No, you know, here's the thing. You know, it's not so much because, you know, people confuse when we say kinder, gentler, and spirituality, they think you're a doormat. that's that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about that you deal with your stuff so that you're not inflicting your stuff on somebody else. You know,
Right.
because you know, let's face it, that guy this morning, it 9 times out of 10, it had nothing to do with me. You know, nothing. It could have been anybody because like I said, I didn't cut him off. I didn't yell at him. I didn't, you know, I was as courteous as I could be, and that obviously made him very irate, which is an indicator they've got stuff going on. And that's the stuff we're talking about. To be kinder and gentler means you need to be kinder and gentler to yourself. Because if
Yes.
you're kinder and gentler to yourself, then it shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And our response time, like I try to take a beat when things happen like that, and I don't necessarily always do either because sometimes you know, there are still triggers in my back door from the past that go, really? You're going to say that to me, or you're going to do that to me, or you're going to do that to them? And
Oh,
then I
yeah.
have to like make myself, you know, 90 seconds. I give myself 90 seconds. Like I think you responded to my post the other day of actually the one about the grapes. And it's like, yeah, we gotta watch our own sour grapes. And
Right.
what do we fill ourselves up with in those in between moments when we're not out and about? And that has so much to do with when we are out and about.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, it would have been kind of fun to see you on the 6 o'clock news, bringing it back to being funny.
My mom was a character. She was bipolar narcissist. Okay, not a good combination, and she was very interesting. And we used to watch a show. What was it? There was one of those cop shows that they had out where, I can't think of what it is. It was probably not cop. Was it Cops? The one where they showed them arresting people. It was
on
clips.
real life one.
Yeah, real life clips of
Yeah.
people being arrested for this, that, and the other, right? And it was, yeah, I think it was called Cops. And I hope to tell you, there were times when I had it on that I was like, I think I'm gonna see my mom on here one of these times. And I said that to my daughter. I said, it really wouldn't surprise me to see my mom on here. And Misty, she's like, oh yeah, grandma. Yeah, it's amazing she hasn't been on here yet. I used to kid her. I used to say, Mom, I'm amazed no one's killed you yet because you are a nut. I mean, she would just do the most crazy, insane things. And amazingly, no one ever went after her.
I think it's a different environment today, so I'm glad that it's not
because I mean, she did things like she had this thing about people parking in front of her house. Okay, you couldn't park in front of her house. And so she would call 911. 911 had to tell her, ma'am, this is for an emergency. You call us again about people parking in front of your house, we're going to have to arrest you. We will send out the police.
But not for the people parking. Well, people are still doing crazy stuff like that, calling 911 because they didn't get their sauce with their McDonald's nuggets.
Oh, I know. It's insane.
It's like, whoa, coming over the counter at people. I'm like,
oh, I know. Must have been that guy that was in front of me today. But no, she said one time she told me she got so mad with this person because she had told them so many times. She went and dumped her coffee grounds on their hood. That's what I mean about, I'm amazed.
I'm lucky. It's surprising. Like she didn't go let the air out of their tires or something.
She's done that too.
Oh.
But see, if she lets that, she only would do that in a certain situation. Because if you let the air out of the tires, then they can't move their car.
True. Yes. I don't want to incriminate myself in any way.
Is there a country song written about you?
But if my friend Mary Pat listens to this at all and comments, then I'll tell the story. Back in our 20s.
Stories.
Yeah. Just don't go the wrong way down the beach parking aisle and then pull in and take our parking spot after we've been waiting for somebody to pull out. That is all I'm going to say. And I've grown since then. I am just such a better human being since then.
I'm gonna throw this out there. It needs further explanation, but I won't go into it. I'm just gonna say sometimes I have Archangel Michael behind me, and sometimes things need to be corrected.
So we're going to watch the news later and see if there's some guy that had some weird mishap today. That goes, I don't even know how it happened.
But I will say I've seen the car haulers.
Change of season. Oh,
it's car hauler season.
Yeah. We don't need spring flowers. We to let us know when life is getting better here.
Yep. Car hauler season.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby said that to me the other day. He was going down the freeway. He's like, I see the car haulers coming.
We will finally be able to drive somewhere in Naples and not be stuck in traffic.
Can go back to the restaurants.
Right.
Shelby's like, you really need to get over this whole COVID thing and start going to the restaurants. I'm like, what part of season and restaurants don't you get?
Right. Yep.
I said, there is nothing entertaining about sitting for an hour waiting for a table.
Oh, no,
Not at
no.
all.
Not my idea of fun. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. But
Yep.
out here is just getting busier and busier. Like I said to you, we went to out to Oil Well, and I couldn't believe the amount of building. And it's like they just cleared the entire thing. And I'm like, it was so hot. The sun was just beating down. And I'm like, you got to start from scratch. And then the traffic, that road is still just 2 lanes. Those people that are going to move into those developments have no idea what it's going to take.
It's going to take a long time for the county to get things taken care of out there.
Yes. Yeah. But yay. Anyway,
so
it all comes around.
It all gets fixed up and it comes around, and yeah, I'm looking forward to summer. I'm looking forward to the rain. I love the rain. I love those storms, and
I've been expecting it to rain every day here. All of a sudden we'll get gusty wind and it'll get cloudy, and then we're like, yes, it's going to rain, because our grass is pretty dried up, and we try to let nature do its cycles, because I'm like, there's a reason there's a dry season and a wet season, and things need to, everything doesn't have to be green all the time. But, when you hear the grass crunch when you're walking on it.
I'm in a condo. We have the sprinkler system. This is the 3rd season here where this time of year where it's so dry, right? The sprinkler just doesn't get right behind my unit for like 10 feet out. It doesn't touch it, and it gets all crispy. And I'm like, you guys got to adjust this. You got to adjust it, because, and they're still not adjusting it. And so what grass was there is dead, not dormant.
Yes.
Dead. And so are all the little viney things that grow. There's like 2 or 3 different viney things that grow in the grass. Well, those are all dead. And I don't use dead lightly, because I have a spot that's about a foot in diameter, and it's nothing but sand. And it keeps getting deeper and deeper. And I told Shelby, I said, something is rolling around in my dead grass and has made a sand bath.
Right.
And he's like, well, what do you think it is? Birds? I said, I think the birds, but it looks big, so I think it's an animal. So the other day, Misty's like, hey, Mom, come here. You got to see this. I go over, and there is a bunny rabbit, a little bunny rabbit, but he's in there, and he's rolling around taking a sand bath. And I'm like, yeah.
I think they do that so fleas don't bite them.
Yeah. Well, my whole lawn is going to turn, what should be a lawn is going to turn into a big animal bird bath, dust bath. It's going to be a big dust bath. And I told Misty, when the rains do start and the grass starts to kind of creep back and those weeds start creeping back and things start turning green, so I think I'm going to put some stones around that little spot and just maintain that little sand spot for them.
Oh,
because it's fun and they need it and they like it. And I'm like, why not?
We had I used to call it the sand pit when we moved here, and I didn't realize that that's exactly why, because our dog Mona, who is in doggy heaven now, but she would run back there and just boom, and then Oh, it was, and then she'd be like, she'd get up to the porch and be like, "You cannot go in the house until you shake off." And then she was short hair, but then I brush you with the little rubber brush because I couldn't figure out why I was walking in the house and it felt like grit every
You felt
single.
like you're at the beach?
Yes. I'm like, what is this? Because Miami, we don't have that same texture of ground that is here. We never. So when we first moved here, I was like, even walking outside, I could feel it on my feet, and I was like, this is just
It's
so
like having a
weird.
beach house.
Yeah,
So
without the
Miami
ocean.
doesn't. So yeah, Miami's got the coarser sand, don't they? Do they have actual dirt on that side of the
Well,
state?
in the house that we lived in was actually built on top. We didn't realize this till, of course, after we owned it, but it had been a quarry, and they had dug they had and filled it with Georgia clay, red
Oh,
Georgia clay. But not the whole house. So one house was on the coral rock, and the other side of the house was like, and we figured it out because when we had it evaluated, like after Andrew, we saw a crack in the house, like it looked like the foundation. And the original owners, on not disclosing this, had driven like big steel or rebarb down in to support the foundation. And to
yikes!
a street over from us, a house just whoop, went right down into one of those sinkholes, and that was like, okay, this is kind of scary, you know?
Yeah, sinkholes are a real thing. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny with Misty. So she was born and raised down here. And it's sand. For those who are not from Florida, Southwest Florida in particular, it's sand. The whole state is pretty much sand, I think, unless you imported Georgia clay. So
Who
it's
knew?
sand. So I remember we took Misty up north when she was, I don't know, 4 years old. She was tattling around. We took her up north, and there'd been a rainstorm, and I took her. And after the rainstorm, I took her over to the playground to play. And if you're from the north, under the swing set is always a mud puddle, always a mud puddle. And I will never forget. Misty walks up and she looks at it. She looks at me and she goes, "What is that?" And I looked at her and I was like, "Oh, Misty, let me introduce you to mud." This is what you get when you have dirt and it gets wet. It's mud. I said, "That's what they got up here. They don't have sand."
Right. Yes. Yes. I grew up making mud pies. And probably very little, having ingested some, but good minerals in that back
Yeah.
then. I don't know about now.
Yep. I hear kids that play in dirt are healthier kids.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah. So did you sell your house before it's sunk?
Oh yes, and we sold it to move here, and as is, made sure that clause was
I was going to ask if you disclosed that.
as is was in the disclosure.
Good thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
as is. Take it or
But
leave it.
Michael, I've not driven past it since we've moved, but Michael has, and he's like, "Wow, the people that have." I finally remembered. Hello, beautiful ladies.
No, I was going to send a little hello back to Tamara.
Oh, it's
Thanks,
Tamara. I don't see who it
sweetie.
is, but yay.
It's still not letting me post. I can't post. So, hi, Tamara. Hi, sweetie. Sending you love.
Love, love, love. Yay. Yeah. Forget what I was talking about because she just seeing her is that ray of sunshine that sparked light in my brain. So, all the synapses went to sending love.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Your house, sinkholes,
Yeah.
sand,
Oh,
mud.
we went, I guess from Ian. That was the last hurricane, right? Ian? Yeah.
Yep.
We lost our insurance. We were with UPC and they went under. So we're no longer grandfathered in because they don't even offer it anymore, but we had sinkhole protection. Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think you're safe out in the estates. The estates, yeah.
Well, I wonder because we live not far from the quarry, and wow, when they are mining, when they are dynamiting, we feel it here. I mean, the entire house shakes and things
Yeah, that's
rattle
it.
and roll.
The cap rock, because Florida's, we have that cap rock and they have to blast through the cap rock. That's how, I'll give you a little background on, for those of Florida, the Everglades is a river. And the reason it was a river is because of the layer of rock that it would go across. And it had holes in it, so that helped with the aquifer and everything. But yeah, all the building that they do down here, they have to break the cap rock to be able to do anything, to build, to put in a pool, to drill for water, whatever. You have to break through the cap rock. But usually, I haven't really heard of any sinkholes in the estates. The estates are usually pretty solid.
Okay, thank you. I feel like
The only the only way I think you can get one is if you have a water leak somewhere. And I remember I hesitate to even tell the story because don't want to put it out there, but
don't
our
want that.
pool,
Blah, 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 blah. No.
yeah, the pool had a leak. There was a leak when they built it. Excuse me, where the water filtered in, there was this little hole. And it was causing the pavers to drop. That's how we knew there was a leak. And so we had that plugged and we had the pavers lifted back up. And like after a rainy season, they sunk back down and we lifted them back up. It happened a few different times. And I was like, I'm really hoping we didn't create a sinkhole for those few years that the thing had that leak and we didn't know. But it's tapered off. It doesn't sink. That the pavers haven't had to be lifted up. The house seems to be staying where it needs to stay. But yeah, I think for a sinkhole, you have to have some type of water that is draining in some kind of obscure way. Kind of like water running around clay.
Right. Yeah, hurricane will do that. I mean, we got a lot of rain for that. Katrina, we actually got flooded, like probably a foot of water in the house. And not necessarily, it was because Dade County did not empty the canals. The water had nowhere to go.
Oh.
And not even sure why they made that decision because we weren't in a flood zone or anything.
Right.
Just like here, we're not considered to be in a flood zone. So it's quite a lot of who knows. Yeah. So I am very, very glad that you gave me the information that there is not a great likelihood of having a flood, a sinkhole here.
Yeah, you don't hear about them too much. It has to be where there's been weird building and not proper grading,
Well, we never know out here because we do see that we're like I just close my eyes and go, didn't see you do that,
I know out in the wild, you know what? The estates is the Wild West. We lived out there ourselves for a number of years. And yeah, it's that's a interesting place to live.
It is.
If you want to see Florida man, that's where he's at usually.
Oh, luckily our street, we walk up and down. We walk Tarzan every day. We like our neighbors. Our neighbors are great for the most part. Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, and I get it. Our neighbors were pretty cool. We had
yes, and everybody kind of keeps to themselves. And it was actually really, I was so grateful during COVID because we have enough space to go out and breathe and stretch and whatever and walk around without, like, I felt bad for friends of ours that like lived in New York City and had to get on an elevator with, and then when they were like, oh, only, one or two people to the elevator at a time. When you live on the 27th or the 40th floor, you're like, okay, not my turn yet. Okay, not my turn yet.
Right. Maybe those stairs. Maybe I should be using the stairs.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, then you're very fit, right? Very fit fast.
You didn't need a gym. All those people that were complaining
had to
that
wear
they
the
didn't have a
mask.
gym.
You see? 40th floor. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right. Gosh darn it. Have we used our half an hour already?
We have used our half an hour. And you know what?
Oh, this is my niece, Anya. Hi, Anya.
Oh,
Yay.
hey.
We are doing great. I'm glad you could pop on. She's in New York, but they have a home. So a little bit better than living in an apartment, right? Yeah.
She can feel us though on that.
So I
feel
heard it snowed up there the other day, but very briefly. Like they're getting some. And is that storm coming through? I think so.
I haven't looked.
Yeah.
I haven't followed anything.
Yeah.
But what was I going to share? Oh, so this weekend, for anybody who's local, I'm going to be in Sarasota at the fair. There's a
the
Spirit Fest, I think. Spirit Fest, I think.
Yeah.
And it's going to be at Robarts Arena in Sarasota, which is, I think, the county fairgrounds there.
Okay.
So we're going to be at the arena.
Yeah.
I'm excited because this is the first fair since COVID.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I love fairs. I do. I love doing fairs. I've done fairs forever and ever and ever. And I just love just sitting in them and meeting people and saying hi and chit-chatting. And, there's just a whole energy about it. So I'm really excited about doing that. So I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. So if you're local, come on out and say hello. I'll have my books with me so you can buy a book and I'll sign it if you want.
Yay. Oh, that's going to be great. Yeah, I miss the energy of those kind of events, but I love the convenience of being online.
I do too. And it's when I decided I was going to do this fair, it was kind of funny because I hadn't realized, like I hadn't missed it, like where I was like, oh, it wasn't that. I just, moved through day to day. And then when it was time and that fair, I was like, this will work. I can do this fair. Fits the schedule, great timing. Yeah, let's do this. And then it kind of came over me and I was like, oh, I haven't done these in so long.
Aww.
I've kind of missed them. I've kind of missed it.
Right. I do can relate to that a little bit. It's like kind of nice, like I didn't realize how much fun I was going to have at our daughter's wedding, but just celebrating with everybody and it was just so much fun. Yeah,
it looked like it was a lot of fun. Those pictures are just
Anya was there.
Wonderful.
She could tell you it was absolutely amazing. We just had the best time laughing and dancing and eating good food and sharing camaraderie. So I hope you have a wonderful event. And
thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Lots of love for that.
Yeah. You know what? Circling back to the COVID thing, I think that because of that break that we had, we can be more selective and appreciate, because I guess I have to say the reason why it like all of a sudden the myths and all that is because, sometimes we got into a routine, we were in a routine with stuff, right? Excuse me. We were in a routine and we were going, you go and you just you don't really give it any thought. It's just one more thing. And then now, because of the whole experience with COVID and everything, I think we're in a place where we're more selective in what we go to and we are more present to it.
Yes.
So, like, I know you would have been present to your daughter's wedding anyway, but I
Right.
think it took it to another level for you probably because
Yes.
of, you reconnecting with so many people you probably hadn't seen in a while.
Right. And the fact that it had to be rescheduled more than once. So,
There was that too.
it was that too. But hey, I got to run. I apologize, but
Oh, no worries. I
yeah.
see somebody scanned our QR code, so thank you for that. I hope you enjoy visiting our website.
Yay. Oh, see, it's all coming around. Woo!
Well,
Have
Denise,
a great
as always,
weekend.
it's wonderful to see you and our people who are listening and checking in with us. We love you. Thank you. Come back and see us again next week. We'll be back next week, right?
Yes, we will. For more chuckles. Is that
Yeah,
even a word anymore? Chuckles.
I think so.
Aw,
But
okay.
love you all.
Love
Take
you all.
care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.